Hello traders, this is Cloud Chartist with a little video about the metals. The metals saw some pretty crazy moves today, so I thought, and I believe that I forgot to go over the metals last week in my weekly video, so I will be going over these anyway on Sunday night when I do make my weekly video for this week, but I just thought I'd make a special extra short video on the metals to be more specific about these moves. So we're going to start off looking at the silver chart. I have drawn a trend line. You can see from points down here, basically candle close points, which I prefer to use rather than spikes. Not everybody agrees with me, and sometimes I use a combination of candle close points and spikes, because like these were candle close points and then these two happen to be spikes. This was a spike, these were candle close points, but you get my drift. So that's about the best trend line I could come up with. And what's significant is that we lost that trend line today. We haven't lost it for a very long time since the beginning of the year that this uptrend has been going on. We attempted to lose it slightly with the spike, but we did put a close over it. What else is significant about as far as closing under important levels is there was a level here where the Chicow, this red line representing price action, time shifted 26 periods into the past, so 26 weeks in the past. The Chicow came into support in a couple of different places here on this candle. Let me zoom in to show you better. So the Chicow first attempted support at the top of this candle here, which was, the high was 1762. It wasn't able to hold that. And then the candle open was at 1746, and it wasn't able to hold that. So price closed inside the candle. It would be more bullish to be hoping for a bounce if price indeed held the top of this candle. When the Chicow interacts with other elements, it's sort of like, has similar qualities to price interacting with the cloud. Basically, the Chicow sort of has support all the way through this candle, as if it was going through a cloud. And whatever the Chicow runs into over here 26 periods ago, current price is going to have to reckon with also. So that's two potentially bearish scenarios as far as looking for a reversal higher on silver. We did have a little bit of a bottoming tail, but if we zoom out, back out, and look at the whole chart, it's concerning that we did not hold that 1746 level. I really expected that we would. So as far as what we have coming into the future, we still have this thin and flat cloud far below. So if we do continue to sell and perhaps lose this prior low here, which was 1711, we could indeed sell further and perhaps even test the top of the cloud at 1612 or thereabouts, 1613. That would be a really nice buy point if we do sell off that far. Pardon me, I'm having a little drink. That's like $1 more to sell off. A lot of people will be very afraid. We had an 8%, nearly 8%, let's see, 7.3% sell-off today in silver, and a 3% sell-off in the gold market today. So, pretty sketchy for metals at the moment here. Let's see, so if we do get more selling and price continues, and price does hold the cloud, it could sort of sell and then move sideways and follow the contour of the cloud higher into the end of the year, is what this cloud is asking for. You see the year line here, 2016 year line. There's quite a ramp into the end of the year. It's important for if you want to be bullish on silver in the longer term, it's important for it to hold the cloud. We don't want it to go under the cloud in this area, for the next month or two. And we also don't want it to move sideways and end up under the cloud over here. So the bottom of the cloud here is 1742. So we really, I think it's at 1742. Yeah, 1742. So we really want to see gold manage to hold the cloud, or at least hold that 1742 level into the new year. If we are under that level when we move into the year just by simply moving sideways, we will end up under the cloud. So we will transit from being bullish, being above the cloud, to being bearish under the cloud simply by moving sideways in the last couple of weeks of December. So let's zoom out to a monthly chart on silver, because I think that is pretty telling and interesting also. This is a 20-year monthly. I'm not sure. It looks like it's all the way zoomed out. So, we see that silver was worth nothing for a very long time. These are the 2000s. And, I think 1996 is the first year back here. So silver was, worth $5. Then we started ramping up. We basically were in an uptrend until like February of 2006, I think. No, sorry, February of 2008. Then we sold off into the end of 2008, and then we started ramping up into 2009. And we basically continued to hold that cloud, and then we had that ridiculous move up all the way from, during 2000 and during 2010, things just went postal, which was really interesting to me as a bystander. I was trading silver during this time period, but I was also had a background in photography, so during this time period, silver was losing a lot of its industrial applications in the photography industry. A lot of film and negative and applications were no longer necessary as we were transitioning into digital. So I thought this incredible move was a bit suspect, really. Didn't really make sense to me. So we got all the way up to 49.82 at one point, and basically we've been in a downtrend ever since, with a few bounces. Let me zoom in to make it easier to see the more recent times. So we were this, this sort of looks similar to the situation that we're in on the weekly right now, where we had a very similar looking cloud formation, as if you remember in your mental memory of the chart I just showed you a second ago. So maybe we're like around here. We're not as close to the cloud yet, but you see that we did not manage to hold the cloud, and indeed we sold through it, and then we've continued to be bearish under the cloud ever since then. So if you had been short silver ever since we lost the cloud here, let me zoom in and show you what you would have done. So you're short silver here when it loses the cloud. Basically, your trade is never invalidated until right here, when we got to close above the Tenkan-sen, and that was June and July of 2014. And so you might have been stopped out of your trade there, depending on how much you were willing to let it go above that Tenkan-sen. Then, in August, it lost the Tenkan-sen again, and basically has been trading under it on a closing basis the whole time until we started on this uptrend here that we're currently in at the beginning of this year. So we did break over the Tenkan-sen here. Let's zoom in even a little bit more. We broke over the Tenkan-sen here and put in a close above the Tenkan-sen in March. And so that was a time when if you had been short, you would want to exit that trade if you're using Ichimoku charts on longer term basis. Maybe you wanted to get long. So we continue to put in closes above the Tenkan-sen for this whole time until this month, until recent days even. Last month we managed to hold the Tenkan-sen. This would have been a really nice buy setup, and it still may be. If we do get a significant reversal, let's zoom in a little bit more. If we do get a significant reversal to the upside before the end of the month, if we do manage to get back over 17,985 on a closing basis, this could be a buy setup also, still. But for the time being, we are under the Tenkan-sen, so one must be cautious. We did have a bull cross in September, so that's bullish. Prior to that, the Tenkan-sen had been below the Kijun-sen. So I want you to be very careful about how this month's candle closes if you're in longer term positions on silver, basically, to sum it up. And let me zoom out again so we can see this. So in the overall picture of the cloud, we need to make a lot of progress. Well, we will naturally end up in the cloud in the middle of next year, or in August of next year, we're going to get into the cloud whether we like it or not, unless we stay under the cloud. But just by moving horizontally, we will eventually end up in the cloud, unless we're like, under 1625, which is entirely possible in my opinion. I tend to be, I'll admit I'm pretty much kind of a metals perma bear. Although I did some dip buying today, intraday. I did not hold the positions. That's about all I have to say, really. This is not a particularly bullish monthly chart at all. All right, let's take a peek at gold. Gold, pretty similar to silver. You'll see that it tried to break out in the beginning of 2015, broke out and then got resisted by the bottom of the cloud here. So that's important. Then it was basically in a downtrend until the beginning of this year, just like silver. It's been more bullish than silver. It actually came all the way up to almost test the bottom of the cloud. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So that was pretty bullish when we were up trading in the 1350s. I was, pointing out this resistance at the cloud bottom at 1387.90 at the time. We never made it up there, and instead we just sold from there. We did hold the Tenkan-sen on a closing basis last month, but this month we were above the Tenkan-sen and then we lost it, and we're now between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen. So this is also sort of, or not sort of, but this also does trace the shape of the cloud. Gold is bearish on the monthly time frame. I'm sorry to say for you gold bugs out there. It's just the fact. So it's important if you are long that we hold the Kijun-sen at 1211.50. That's where I'm potentially considering a buy on longer time frame. Kijun-sens are not particularly good support. Tenkan-sens are stronger when they offer support, so I'm not super confident about this level holding. This actually, we could draw a fib. It kind of looks like a fib level to me. Let's just check for fun. And this is how I draw my fibs. Yeah, so this the Kijun-sen is also about the 50% of these points. And I draw my fibs from real candle bodies to real candle bodies. I discount the wicks, but if I did use the wicks, it would be pretty much the same because the wicks on the top are pretty much the same height as the wicks on the bottom. I'll just demonstrate that. Boom. And actually that's even more accurate to the 50% equaling the Kijun-sen. So, I hope that was helpful and that you learned. Oh wait, I didn't go to the weekly on gold. Did I go to the weekly? I didn't go to the weekly. Alright, let's get rid of the drawing. Alright, so the weekly is quite interesting on gold here because the weekly cloud is located at 11. I'm sorry. The weekly cloud is located. The cloud top is located at 12:15:90, and today when we made the low, it was 12:18:70. So that is pretty darn close. It didn't quite touch the cloud, but it did get a little bit of a bounce. So gold is looking relatively bullish. It's above the cloud. And it has a flat cloud for a while, but then it has a nice thick rising cloud into the future. So that looks pretty bullish. It's just really important that we hold the top of the cloud on a continue to hold the top of the cloud on a weekly closing basis. The fact that I'm sorry if you can hear, there's like this horrible noise in the background, like a truck backing noise. I don't know what they're doing, digging a swimming pool or grinding up stumps or something like that. It's terrible. But anyway, the Chikou today lost the Tenkan-sen where it had been previously looking for support at around the level where we had previously been finding support around here, around the, let's tell you exactly, 1256 area, and closed underneath. So the Chikou being under all these candles means that it's going to have to get through them again. It's going to have to get through the candles and the Tenkan-sen. If we do break into the cloud with current price, then the Chikou could come down and find support somewhere in this area. You know, next week it's going to be specifically right here, and the support's going to be at 1184.90. I'm sure that you guys probably don't want to see gold that low. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Don't want to make this video too long. If you think this is fascinating stuff and you're interested in learning Ichimoku, I do teach Ichimoku from about 8. It's been like 7 lately, but it's been like 7 to 7. That election trade, I think I got an hour. No, I got an hour and a half of sleep. I traded all night and all the next day. Anyway, I'm in my chat room from officially 8:30 to 4 every day, teaching Ichimoku, trading futures live with Ichimoku charts. So if you're interested and you want to learn, check out my website, cloudchartist.com. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below on YouTube. If you want to be notified when I release new videos, you can hit the red subscribe button below, and you will you'll get all my you'll find out before everybody else that I have released a new video. All right, have a great weekend. Get a lot of rest. Don't stress out too much about the election results. Don't gloat too much about the election results. Both of those situations are not particularly healthy. And anyway, I'll stop. Take care.